today I want to do something different. I want to talk about the next few books that I'm reading and why exactly I'm reading them, what I hope to learn from them, and maybe just inspire you to pick up your next book. So the thing I'm reading right now is Hamlet by William Shakespeare. The reason I picked this up is because I just read A Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man. I read Ulysses, and it constantly cited this work as Shakespeare's best, one of his best. I was just really interested in one of the conversations that was going on in the book, so I was like, I might as well pick it up for myself. And Shakespeare is something that I've always wanted to reread. I read it a lot in high school just through my classes, and I don't think I really appreciated it, but now that I'm going through it, it's very fun, it's very interesting. I've read so much poetry, I've read so much like philosophy and more philosophical and poetic things that it's not that hard for me to read anymore. So it's fun to go through because I know what it's saying. I can kind of infer the words and the meaning and the depth, and it's just something cool, and it's coming full circle, like the things I used to study, the things I'm studying now. And yeah, the next book is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. This is going to be probably the next thing I read because I'm going to be able to fly through it. I'm super interested in it. I was at the bookstore and I was looking for a book from Jung. I picked this up and I literally scrolled to a page and it said Carl Jung was the first thing I saw. So I was like, okay, I need to read this book. And it's not just because I like Eckhart Tolle. Like, there's definitely something that's calling to me in this book, but I really want to explore what this book's about because it's an interesting title. I'm wondering exactly what's different about this book from The Power of Now. What are the different focuses? And I'm just excited to read this. I think it's going to be a fun, quick read, and I think it's going to have a lot of depth, a lot of wisdom, and a lot of good things in it. The next thing that I plan on reading is The Interpretations of Dreams by Sigmund Freud. I really haven't read any Freud. I always talk about him. I know a good deal about him because I've heard other people talk about him, but I feel like this is an issue that I have because in the past my ideas of Nietzsche were very driven by what other people said about him, by what other philosophers interpreted about him. Same thing with Schopenhauer. Until recently, I thought Schopenhauer was a very weird guy, a very pessimistic guy, but like reading his work, I had a much better understanding and I see him in a whole new light. I see him in a whole different way, and I can take his ideas for what they are. I can take his inspiration and the things that he puts onto paper and run with them and have a lot of fun with these ideas. And I think it's going to be somewhat similar with Freud. I think Freud has some great character flaws that are going to make it so I don't particularly like some of the things he says, and I think he's very biased in certain contexts, but this is really the building block for a lot of Jungian psychology. And if you guys know anything about me, I absolutely love Carl Jung. I absolutely love his ideas. I think they have great inspiration in them, and I think this is one of Freud's most significant works, if not the most significant work. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. I'm excited to read exactly what's in this book. I know there's a really funny story about Freud, and he's talking about dreams with his daughter, and he's like, any sort of phallic object in a dream is repressed homosexuality. And then his daughter goes, didn't you say that you had a dream where you were smoking a cigar? And he's like, sometimes a cigar is a cigar. It's just such a funny story. Like, rules for thee, but not for me. But I'm excited to read that book, though. The next thing I'm going to pick up probably is The Will to Power by Friedrich Nietzsche. This is sometimes seen as his seminal work. I'm just interested to see what this is about. This is more so his journals, more so his journal entries. This really wasn't published while he was alive, I'm pretty sure. And I'm interested to see exactly like his private thoughts, because we've all, hopefully if you're on this channel, you've read Nietzsche, you've read his style, you know what he's about, but that's like his public facing image. That's his mask that he puts onto the public. I feel like there's always a difference between what people project forward and what people talk about in private, what people intend to be published and what people intend not to be published. So maybe there's a more emotional side, maybe there's a more vulnerable side in this book, and I'm interested to see where some of these ideas came from, where these ideas kind of went, how they developed, and I think it's going to be a really cool journey through a deeper side of Nietzsche. The last thing that I plan on reading is Dubliners by James Joyce. This is a book that it just came to me. It was like a few dollars. Like I was literally on Amazon at like 2 a.m. I don't know why, don't ask me, but I saw a deal for like $3-4 for this book. And I was like, all right, maybe it's a sign that I have to pick this up. And the reason I'm picking this up is because I also just got Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce, and I am not prepared or ready to start reading Finnegan's Wake. It took me about 2-3 weeks to read Ulysses, and I don't even think I understood 1% of it. So it's like I need to mentally prepare myself, and I need to really get in the right mindset, the right mood to read Finnegan's Wake. But I think Dubliners will be a nice change of pace from the more complex stream of consciousness that James Joyce normally writes. So yeah, it'll be really nice to have a story written by one of my favorite authors that is very simple, that is very coherent, that isn't all over the place. And I'm excited to read all of these books. I think, you know, the more things that you can expose yourself, the more different ideas that you can start studying, the better your mind is going to be able to adapt to problems, the better you're going to be able to expand your perspective and be able to meet the challenges of the day. And I think if you start taking this mindset, if you start looking at how different individuals solve their own unique problems and start applying these different solutions to your own life, you can really get ahead. You can really expand what it is that you're trying to do. You can easily overcome the things that are in your life. And I think Schopenhauer said it best: reading is supplanting someone else's mind into your own and allowing their thoughts, their ideas to take over, their ways of solving these issues to, you know, become apparent, to become a part of your new thoughts, your new ways of facing the world. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.